Look, as somebody who's been running his own brand for 9 years and just started up my second brand, there's a huge difference between a brand that gets one viral video every once in a while and gets some orders here and there, and a brand who's able to reliably produce consistent results and sales for their brand. For my first brand, there was a moment where everything just clicked, and month after month, I was doing $40,000, $50,000, $60,000, $70,000 a month in sales. And I can honestly tell you that this wasn't just luck. This didn't happen because, oh, I was randomly posting here and there every once in a while and it was some sporadic thing where word of mouth just happened and it started to take off. No, it was because I figured out a secret, and this secret I'm gonna share with you in this video. And this isn't some bullcrap clickbaity thing. This is something that you need to understand as a business in order to reliably produce results consistently, and if you ever want to actually make real money for your brand. The secret to getting orders for your brand on a regular basis is that your brand needs to have a system. This is the big difference between brands that are crushing it every single month and growing regularly versus brands that are just always sort of struggling to get off the ground. They can never really gain any traction. They get some sales here and there, but they never really get anywhere. Is that the brands that are truly rolling with it and getting a lot of orders regularly on a consistent basis have a system. Now, I'm gonna give you some credit and assume that if you're watching this video, you're not some dummy and you're able to think on a high enough level to understand this. There are some nuances around this that are really important for you to understand and will give you a major competitive advantage. The first of which, every single clothing brand is going to have a different marketing strategy. There's no one size fits all approach to marketing a brand online. The reason for that is that every single brand is going to have a different target audience, which means that you need to develop your marketing strategy for your target audience. One brand might need influencer marketing. Another brand might need to run Facebook ads. Another brand might serve really well with content marketing, and it all depends on who exactly your target audience is. The reason I'm telling you this is because in order for you to make a marketing system, you're gonna have to first understand who's your target audience, where are they, and what marketing strategies are you going to use in order to get in front of them. Once you figure out which marketing strategy that is, then you want to turn that into a system. And I'm gonna share some stories from my own brand and how I figured this out to make this super clear for you. But first, I wanna let you know that Apparel Success is sponsored by my buds over at design.com. If you're not a designer yourself, but you've got the idea for a design and the vision for it, this is perfect for you. Go to design.com/apparel success and use their AI logo generator. Type in your full idea for your design. Hit enter. Thousands of logos are going to come up that are fully editable and fully refinable as long as you want for free until it's perfect. Play around with this. Design your logo at design.com/apparel success. And if you like what you make, you'll get up to 88% off at checkout. Okay, so here's an example of how I developed a system for my clothing brand K-Bud that got me to $40,000, $50,000, $60,000, and $70,000 a month in sales. When I first started up my brand, I was posting on Instagram and I was getting some traction, but it wasn't nearly enough to actually generate enough orders and sales to have a real business. So one thing that I did is I realized after a few months that just posting on Instagram wasn't enough. It wasn't driving enough sales. So I needed to make some changes and try a new strategy. So on top of posting content on Instagram, what I did is I introduced an outbound marketing strategy. An outbound marketing strategy is where you go as a business to actually engage with your target audience. So instead of just posting on Instagram, I was finding my target audience on Instagram and I was spending a certain amount of hours every day engaging with their posts, liking their posts, commenting on their posts, messaging them in the DMs. And I realized that this might seem like a lot of work, and it was when I first started up, but this was the very first system that I put in place for my brand that actually started producing reliable, predictable results on a regular basis. I realized that if I did this every single day for a couple of hours, engaging with my target audience, messaging them in the DMs, and leaving genuine comments, that it was driving enough traffic to the website to generate a certain amount of sales every single day. So this is an example of a system that was working to produce predictable results that's not necessarily scalable into the future, but something that was the first glimpse for me of how a system can truly transform your business. This is such an important point, and I need you to really listen, write this down, and just remember this because it's so important. A system can be applied to any marketing strategy. So a system could be applied to your content marketing, to Facebook ads, to influencer marketing, to your outbound marketing. The difference here is that you're taking a marketing strategy and you're making it more consistent. you're making it a long-term strategy where you're not just trying to get short-term goals out of it, and it's something that you're doing that's more predictable. It's where you take a marketing strategy that may have worked to get random results here and there, and you turn it into a process. You turn it into a workflow that you're doing regularly and consistently. You need this inside of your business. I'm telling you, you need it in order for you to truly have a business that's actually hitting a bottom line where you're able to get predictable, reliable results regularly. And so the way that my brand grew to $50,000, $60,000, $70,000 a month in sales is by systematizing Facebook ads, and the way that I was turning off ads and killing ads and scaling ads that were actually working, and doing the same thing with email marketing, doing it regularly on a regular basis and turning it into a process, turning it into a workflow. The marketing strategy that you choose, the system that you decide to go with, should be developed from first principles. For your brand, it should be discovered through understanding your own target audience and building that out creatively. But once you've built that out and you've identified who your target audience is, turn it into a system as quickly as you possibly can. What's so fascinating about this is now that I've started my second brand, I'm realizing that the same systems that worked for my first brand, K-Bud Apparel, can't be mapped onto my new brand. It's a different target audience, which means that I need to come up with a different system, a different marketing strategy, and I'm developing that as I go. Now, I want to share with you my process and my thoughts around how I'm developing this new system and how I'm thinking about discovering a marketing strategy for my brand, because I know you're likely thinking that. Step number one is to identify your target audience. There is no way to market your brand and turn this into a system if you don't know who exactly you're selling to on an extremely detailed, specific level. So know exactly who you're trying to sell to and where they are. Number two, be real and evaluate your actual resources. Do you have some money that you can spend on marketing? Do you not have any money? Do you have a little bit of money? Knowing how much money you have to spend on your marketing is going to help you like crazy when it comes to developing your system and to developing your strategy. If you're broke and you don't have any money, that's totally cool, but Facebook ads and paid collaborations with influencers isn't going to be an option for you. You're going to have to do something a little bit more creative with content marketing or outbound marketing or something along those lines. The third step is to map out your potential marketing channels. Are you going to do this on Instagram? Are you going to do it on TikTok? Where do you think your audience is? How are you going to connect with them? Is it going to be through creating really creative reels, or is it going to be through engaging with them and sending them DMs? How are you going to do it? And understand that there is no right or wrong answer here that somebody else is going to give you. This is going to come from your own creativity and from your own thinking here. Trust your own research and intuition into where your audience is and how you're going to get in front of them, because in step 4, you're going to experiment and test. Whatever you're cooking up in your brain right now could be right, it could be wrong, it doesn't matter, because all of them you're going to test. You're going to test them on a micro level. Before you turn them into a full-blown system, you're going to test it out. How are your reels doing if that's the idea that you have? If those aren't working, how are your TikToks doing? If that's not working, how's your outbound marketing going? Whatever it is that you cook up, you want to be experimenting and testing until you land on something that starts delivering some results for you. Because in step 5, this is where you turn it into a process. You figure out how you can do this regularly. You systematize the things that are getting you those results on a micro level, and you expand your marketing efforts to truly turn it into something that's going to be consistent and a process that delivers reliable results. This, what I just shared with you, is how brands truly succeed and make money on a big level with their brand. So go back and watch it again if you need to, because this is the only way to market a brand as a professional business owner, rather than just like throwing out random content and just hoping something works all the time. And maybe you get a video that goes here, maybe you make some sales here, but you never know what's happening and everything's just loosey-goosey. This is the way to do it, where you're turning the page for your brand and things are going to actually start crushing. Show me some love in the comments. Let me know what you think. Drop a like on this video. And if you want to work closer with me and a community of other clothing brand owners, check out apparelsuccessmastermind.com, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.